In 1916, 416,809 Australian and New Zealand men and women enlisted, of which over 60,000 were killed and 556,000 were wounded, gassed, or taken prisoner. Most were aged 18 to 21 and proceeded into battle with the pride of their country on their shoulders. Welcome all newly established Australians and greetings. My name is Tiwaka Unnery, representing the state government. I'm here to provide knowledge to those who wish to understand the Australian identity, Anzac legend, or our nation's values. On the 25th of April 1915, the soldiers of the Anzacs were deployed on the coast of Gallipoli to assist all Allied navies. Following the end of the war, the 25th of April soon became the day in which Australians and New Zealanders remember the sacrifice of those who died in the war. It was the first time Australians had been put on world stage. Even though there was no victory in this war for our country's Anzacs, they showed strong aspects of mateship, sacrifice, and endurance. Even when the odds were stacked against them, they stood tall and held their ground for their country. The qualities I have mentioned are the ones I believe to describe and represent Australian identity the most. Mateship is an iconic trait of the Anzacs, and it's clear to see that is an important characteristic of the Australian identity. In Australian society, mateship is constantly being celebrated, whether it is being enjoying spending time with your friends, sharing adversity, or helping your friend. This is represented in the movie Beneath Hill 60 when soldiers start playing a competitive game, yet friendly game of rugby. And you see the soldiers having fun, spending time with their comrades. As the soldiers share the same trenches and soil, they are faced with many suffering times and misery. They proceed by being there for each other, as when a soldier was dying, so Woodward was there for him in his last moments to send him off. Throughout this film, you can see the soldiers helping each other out in little ways, such as the soldier's hands were cold and another soldier noticed and gave him his gloves to help him out. Even though these soldiers are in war, they don't forget about their mates. The film represents soldiers showing strong aspects of mateship and how they get through their hardships of war with each other. Most notable trait is the sacrifice the soldiers made, the sacrifice for their country, the sacrifice for their family and comrades. This trait is celebrated every Anzac Day as the ultimate sacrifice made for all the fallen, injured, and surviving soldiers that put their life on the line to protect what they love. Beneath Hill 60 is a movie about a man named Oliver Woodward who leads a secret platoon of Australian tunnellers that fight to defend a leaking, labyrinthine tunnel system packed with enough explosives to change the course of war. This film also shows scenes of soldiers sacrificing their lives for their comrades so they could live, such as a scene where a boy was in no man's land and one of them acts as a decoy so they could run to the trenches and be safe.
Steps over to the right, about 25 yards. You ready? What? We can't stay here, mate. Tell you what, I'll go to the left, draw crabs. As soon as you hear that MG open up, you run like buggery. Don't bloody stop until you get to the sack. I'm twice as fast as you guys. We'll make it before Houston.
At the end of the film, Woodward is forced to make a decision on whether to detonate the mines, killing one of his friends, or stopping the sequence and saving it. But that would also risk the lives of other soldiers and the victory of taking over Hill 60. So Woodward decided to sacrifice his comrade for the cause of the army. Every Anzac sacrificed something, and I think this is an important feature to remember about the Anzac legend. People every day sacrifice things, and in this particular appropriately represents Australian identity. Another quality that is part of the national identity is the endurance that the Anzacs repeatedly showed through these war paintings. The image bringing in the guns, as shown above, shows the soldiers pushing through deep mud on their horses and other men helping them. This shows that no matter what weather or terrain, they will endure for their country. The Anzacs also links to their sense of authority, meaning they would do whatever they were ordered if it would benefit their comrades. Another image, sources of example 3, taking the guns through, as shown below, shows the soldiers in the midst of battle, and the men looks as if they are all working together to return fire, and even though they are surrounded by gunfire, they are still fighting back. Therefore, it is evident that endurance is one of the main features of Australia's identity, which has grown in reaction to the Anzac legend. These characteristics helped shape our sunburnt country and unite its people. I hope this helped you to understand the significance and importance of the Anzac legend and why it has been made into a national day to celebrate and remember the fallen of the sacrifice.